Welcome to Toffee TV, proudly backed by Vanarama Driving Fan TV this summer. Mori left on Thursday, which was a bit of a surprise. We'd been linked with him earlier that day to Middlesbrough, was he? So obviously, well, if obviously some people felt, knew that he was on his way out or was available, obviously, and a move was made then to Villarreal, which I think is like a perfect move for him, to be honest. It just seems like a good fit. Barbecue weather all year round. Oh, yeah. Let's be honest, barbecue weather all year round. But the business that was done and the way it was done, and no leaks or anything beforehand. Do you think that? I mean, first of all, before we talk about that, just on Funes Mori, how do we look back at his Everton career?
Top barbecuer. You know what? He was okay. I think he had some good games, and he had games where he was all over the place. I think he was all right in a physical battle. I think he's not too bad in that. But when he's up against the forward who runs in behind him, he either goes to sleep or he just doesn't anticipate very well. Because that's where he'd get caught out, either under the ball or he wouldn't see the run, and then he's trying to make up. What I would say is he was a threat in the opposing penalty area.
Yeah, definitely.
Which, given no one else seemed to be able to get head on anything still. But I still never, for the life of me, understand why Martinez turned Van Dijk down and went for Funes Mori for the sake of $1 million. Well, the money was there. He felt Mori was a better option. But as far as he's concerned, I thought he'd done alright. He was up and down. I'm not. But I think the knee injury done him, obviously, because he just didn't play enough football. But
yeah, I think he got off to a good start, and then I think he started to show that he just wasn't good enough. He was never switched on.
Yeah,
in
that's
games.
The problem, isn't it?
Maybe maybe in a 3 could have got away with them. If you had a proper 3 that he played every single week, I think he could have got away with him on that left hand side because of what he added that physicality, presence in the air in both boxes. But I think you're right. I mean, I can't remember what game it was, but I remember one game that the opposition scored, and he run into the space in front of him, and left a load of space behind him when the ball sort of didn't bounce right for the opposition to just run through on goal. And it was things like that. You was like, you haven't got the football intelligence.
Arsenal alone, when we got beat 3-0 and he brought the ball up to the halfway line, gave it away, and he just knocked it back to Iwobi and he was through, and you were like, there was no reason to make that run. You were where you were, or if you're making that run, do not give the ball away because you're the last line. It was little things like that. He was a player that,
or he is a player, I think, that is tries things that he's just not good enough to do, or and that's fair enough, but that's not for me. And as you say, the fact that we could have got Van Dijk around the same time and didn't, really leaves.
It's just a mad decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, but listen, some fans liked him. He had a bit of desire and passion for the shirt and things like that, which fans like, and the goals he scored, he was always celebrating like a lunatic and things like that. So I don't think anyone's like, I don't think everyone wishes him well and all that kind of thing, but he's gone. I think most people wanted him to go because he felt like he was he was not required. Some people, don't get me wrong, there'll be some people out there saying, well, we should have given him a go, but that knee injury would always leave a doubt on whether he'll properly come back from that. So but as we were saying, the manner of how we sold him was incredible, really, because literally Thursday night it just popped up on Everton website. Basically, he's been sold, and that was it. And that was it. That was the first. That was the first inkling.
And we knew he was going, but we certainly didn't think it'd be as swift as what it was. But you're right, in terms of them keeping the information in house, that was brilliant, and I hope that continues. both ways really, ins and outs, or as much as it can. I don't think it does anyone any favours when everything drags on. I mean, I think it's probably easier to sell someone like that than it is to buy a player, because there's a lot of people involved in a transfer coming in, and in this country everyone's hungry for information. But
do you think it's got a lot to do with, though? I think what you just said, there's hungry for information, and I think sometimes a club feeds on that, and we've seen Liverpool recently do it with Fekir, is that how you pronounce it? Sort of letting the press know a day before, because they were so sure it'd go through. It didn't go through, and then they sort of looked a little bit foolish. But that's because the desire for knowledge is so massive now, and you know, we know the clubs drip feed their friends in the media. We know when a story's right or true or not, because certain members of the media will have that story and will have been briefed on that story 24 hours beforehand. And you see the likes of, certainly for us, likes Joyce and the likes of Andy Hunter will come out with that story. But do you think this is in terms of, well, Marcel Brands does it this way. Number one, he doesn't know any of those people, and he doesn't feel like I need to give them that information, almost to say, well, this is how we do things now.
You'll react to the story when
you do get it, because I think we've, in the past, I think we've done this as a club, is we've given information out when the deal's really early on. And when the deal naturally takes a long time to conclude, because we have released the news so early, that people, in the meantime, everybody goes through the different stages of emotions before the signing finally happens. We've seen it last year. A couple of times. Do you think this is just a case now of, no, when the deal's done, we'll let you know, and try and minimise as many leaks as we can?
It's hard to tell, obviously, because it's the first real one that we've moved out. If it becomes a theme where you're just there, then it's a clear message of how we're going to do things. I think it's important that people don't understand which is obviously why we stopped saying anything really, because people don't understand that. You'll say, I know, but it could jeopardize, and people go, how can that jeopardise? But it can cause all sorts, because it's, once the stuff's out there, it's out there, and then it bounces around various things, and it can notify people, it can push wages up, stories are written. You see that loads of times. So, and obviously, you have things like the Fekir thing, where he was pictures in a Liverpool shirt. So then if it falls, I know he'll probably end up there anyway, but it falls through at that time, and you've got to be, there's a lot of stages to go through in the transfer. I hope that it remains like that, because it'll be great if Everton just go breaking news and we've signed whoever on a 4, imagine breaking news, Everton have signed Lozano on a 5, something like that. You'd just be like, wow, that's amazing, rather than Everton trying to get him and they're speaking to him and he's going to make a decision next week, and then you just go, everything. No, but you know what I mean.
No.
Everyone almost loses their mind. Oh, I've heard he's not coming. And then next minute there's like 25 stories going round, but people get angry with them stories. That's what I can't get my head around. There's like a thing in the paper of a player, and it's like, oh, any shite brands. There's 4 things are changing. You go, we haven't bought them. It's just that someone in the news is writing something. So there's that kind of thing where, if Everton can keep it as quiet as they can for as long as they can, both ways, I think it'll benefit the club. And I think it'd be really good if Brands can do that, and it'll show us. But we'll know, I suppose, as we go through the next few weeks. If it continues to happen, then that's quite clearly how it's going to go down. That's good.
Yeah, as I say, there's a whole industry based off the back of transfer rumours, isn't there? So if a story does get out early, then it as you say, it can jeopardise a deal, because then if other parties that are alerted that didn't already know, and the agents of the other team the player will use that in their favour, and then things change later on. And I think what happens is, when clubs change the goalposts late on in a deal, the club who are buying tend to say, no, we won't be held hostage on this player. We're quite happy to walk away. So
that happened with Yarmolenko. You know, it's happened. It's happened lots of times. I've said this before. You know, Robbie Keane, 3 times he was on an Everton team sheet, you know, a squad sheet, because the deal was done, and it didn't happen at the last minute on a couple of occasions. Once because Spurs changed payment scheme at the very end and things like that. And, you know, clubs will do this. Clubs can do this at any time. Players can do it. Players can go, yeah, I'll join you, and then they get in the room, and you know, Craig Bellamy was at Belfield and they told everyone he was signing, and had a meeting with the manager and come down, said I'll never play for him. You know, after you know, he'd had 2 meetings with him on the second meeting. So lots of things can happen throughout it, and that's why you need it to try and be as quiet as it can for as long as it can.
And you're right, because it only takes a phone call. It only takes a phone call in the last minute before that pen's hit the paper, and something can change it. But you know, he's the first one out.
Obviously, Joel got released, but we knew that anyway, didn't we? So he's the first one.
So you know, we're expecting.
What about the fee though? That was the thing, wasn't it? You know, he was coming up with 20 million euros. He was just making stuff up.
It's funny though.
Yeah, it was funny, but it was. If anyone believed it, it was like, all right. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, go on.
So I mean, obviously now, talk of Wayne Rooney. Obviously, looks like he's out the door. Ashley Williams, Kevin Morales, Morgan Schneiderlin. I mean, if we can get rid of those players, I mean, Morgan Schneiderlin's like that. You hear different stories, but you would think if someone's prepared to pay the money for them, then it'll happen. But if we can get rid of those players in the next couple of weeks, you know, pre-season training back next week, back on the 2nd,
back Monday, yeah.
If we can get rid of some of those players, so those players know where the future.
We can get rid of Schneiderlin. And replace him for 120 grand. Rooney, I'd keep Wayne Rooney, but if he's gonna go, fair, you know, I understand why he would, and I understand why Marco.
He's in the States at the moment, so
yeah, it's looking.
But I think the main thing is though, if these players have been told that it's done, then I think that's brilliant.
I've got no issue. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't mind if Wayne turned around and said he was staying. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'd rather he went. I wouldn't. But I also don't want to see him get worse and worse and worse. And I think, you know, there's a couple of videos coming out where I've done some stuff on the tactics and I've read a lot, and he, you know, doesn't really fit unless we change, unless we bring 3 runners in basically, and I can't see that happen because obviously we've got Gylfi who does naturally fit. So, you know, if you're talking Wayne Rooney, that's at least 150 grand a week. Schneiderlin 120. Sandro, there's nearly 400 grand a week straight off. Ashley Williams will be on about 67.
Forget about the money.
No, it's wages.
No, I know, but forget about that's what I'm saying. I know, but I know it's wages, but the most important thing is they're not required. They're players that need to be replaced, aren't they? That's the most important thing. Forget about wages, and I don't mean that in a flippant way, because it is, you know, financial fair play is there. It is in effect, and we need to lower the. We need to lower. Go on, that's fine. We need to lower. Jack, we need to lower the wages, but by getting rid of these players that are not necessarily required, then I think that's a really good statement of intent, and that as well. I mean, we mightn't get the money. I mean, as you just said there about Foon's money, we got to get around 9 million for him, which is essentially what we paid, but we made our money back, and we're saving on the wages, and we've got a player that we don't need.
And there'll be some add-ons if he does alright, so it'll push it up. That's how we've got to look at it. That's appearances as well. But if you look at it, the reason why I'm saying that with the wages, because with Morales on top, it's over $500,000 a week, which is a lot, which essentially you can go and get 3, 4, 5 really good, 4 really good players on good wages to fill that, who will play. Those, like you're saying, they're not going to play, so there's no reason for them to be in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Get them out, get good in. If we can, there's 5. You know, there's decisions to be made over Mo Besic. I think he'll go. Personally, it's another one out the door. I think there's a decision to be made over James McCarthy, but I don't think that won't be made until January, when he's back fit, and we've had a look at him. Obviously, he could come back, and if he does what he does, he actually does fit the system. So there's players there, you know. Obviously, there's people like Cuca Martina who aren't, in my opinion, aren't going to get anywhere near. Well, no, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's you know, the fee's almost irrelevant if someone wants to take him. So there's them kind of players, and then obviously you've got to look at Umanias and go, can we get better in that final third? I like him because he's a great sub.
Yeah.
He's a good option. He'll score goals. Dominic Calvert-Lewin will develop.
Yeah, but these players, those last couple of players, they're not players that necessarily need replacing as such.
Yannick Bolasie, there's big.
Well, Bolasie's like,
he's on the ball.
He's on the line, isn't he? Because it's a case of, is anyone going to take him, or what can you get out of him? I think the players we're talking about played some players that, the manager would happily see leave. They don't seem to fit the system, and as fans, you sort of like, you know, because someone like Yannick Bolasie, and this is even been mentioned for Morgan Snarland, to be honest, they're players that might just fit the system. We look at a player in one system and go, oh, they're rubbish or whatever, and then you get a player in, and the manager understands his strengths and goes, well, you know what, give him a pre-season, let's see if he beds into the way I want to play, and then suddenly you've got a player who's revigorated by
Schneiderlin would fit the system. I'd like better, but he could do the job.
So he's with Schneiderlin though, he is one where everyone might just come together and go, well, you know what, it's probably, you might work, but it's probably better to draw a line under it. You know, I
think he wants to go back to France.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You want to go back to France. You're having a baby. You seem to enjoy the sun. You know, you probably would like to be in Marseille or somewhere, or Monaco,
or late one in Marseille,
or somewhere like that. You know, to start your life as a family and all the rest of it. And you know, that's probably the way it is. And sometimes decisions are not football decisions; they're life decisions, and it's what's best for everybody. And that might just be the best decision for everybody. So. And he might have already made his mind up on that mentally as well, which means, you know, coming back is
he's kind of already said though, hasn't he? He kind of
he already has.
He indicated that his next club won't be in England.
Though he definitely wants a cheeky Mediterranean club.
No, but that's sound, isn't it? Fair play to him. Look, he was good for 6 months. Last season didn't work. He got better towards the end of the season. It is what it is.
And people forget as well, this is a player that played in the third tier of English football and worked his way up to the Premier League and played in the last Euros as well for France. So he's done, in terms of that, he's done okay. It just hasn't overly worked at Everton. As you said, the first 6 months were fine.
It didn't at United, did it?
No, it didn't.
So maybe he just suited Southampton because they knew the way. Again, a set system just went into it. We haven't had a set system. Mourinho didn't like him because he wasn't mobile enough, apparently. So you look at it like that, don't you, and go, you know, hey, but there's none of them who, like I say, Wayne is for different reasons why I don't really want him to go. Playing again against lower sides, I think he's sound, but
it's like
competing at the top end, not good. You know,
danger of repeating ourselves. It is a case of, if he's being told and he knows, and he's probably took the last month to come to terms with that. And good luck to him. Then let it happen and let it you know.
Is there any who've been mentioned who you would rather stay, or are you just not bothered about anyone? No.
There's nobody because there's nobody getting mentioned that you know I'm particularly, you know. Who I
think we'd have been gutted if the Luckman stuff was still going on, but he's quite clearly.
If Luckman was going, I would be devastated. Luckman's the only one. I mean, it looks like he's staying. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Touch wood. But apart from that, there's nobody else.
There's no one.
I'm just not asked.
No. Well, I think
only Seamus stays. I'm good.
Pickford.
Oh yeah, he's staying.
There you go. No, that's what I'm saying. There's not many you go, oh my god, if he goes. But to be honest, I'm at the stage now. I just think, well, let the manager and this new fella decide, because the ones who we like haven't produced, have they? Regularly. So maybe it's time for a a new era.
Michael Keane. We'll see.
We'll ask a legend
about that. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who would you like to see stay? Who would you like to see go? Are you asked about Wayne Rooney leaving and anyone else leaving? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.